never gonna make a name for myself holding down the fort.
Hello, civilian. I don't mean to be rude, but what exactly are you doing up here?
Fighting out there.
Oh, a prospective initiate. The Knight Shin sent you. And I guess we're both in luck. Paladin Romani makes the call on new recruits, but the Knight and I have some influence. It just so happens I'm in need of someone to help me out on a little mission. If you're interested, I can bring you along and put you to work.
This is
Do a good job, and I'll send a recommendation your way. Didn't even have to think about it, did you? Let me give you a quick rundown of the mission before we start. Our new base is littered with old technology, but there's something in particular. It's down in the bowels of this place, a part of Atlas that we've cornered off. I'm not... Any questions before we start? Great! Unfortunately, I need to finish up a few things here. Good, you're here. So, how do you feel about reading comprehension? I was hoping to start out by sweeping the area for documentation left behind from before. Are you trying to get on my good side? Because that's how you get on my good side. But enough about that. I'd like to get started. Let's head downstairs and see what we can turn up. Here's one. Here's a document. I think this is good. Let's talk for a sec. This must be Dr. Hammond, Atlas's lead scientist. We recovered some of his holotapes and logs in our initial sweep of the area. This tech down here is his handiwork, and he couldn't give it up. Even after the war, I should make arrangements for a proper burial. That should be enough to start. Let me take a look. Atlas decommission report. So the project was... Wow, this is some seriously classified stuff that I just let you read, isn't it? That's a mature attitude to take. There's only so much I can tell you, but I'll share what I feel is relevant. Atlas wasn't exactly an observatory before the war. The military conducted research here. Pretty advanced research. We're down here to investigate and see what's worth salvaging. I did ask you to help, after all. Now, let's follow up on some leads from this report. I'd like to do a quick inspection of some key components that should be nearby. There's probably a terminal around here. If it's still running, we can do a diagnostics test. That will tell us about some of the less accessible hardware. The report mentioned that the machine's intake pump was under a lot of pressure. Let's finally, the lower core on this level should have a wiring box. Why don't we take a glance at that to get an idea of the Should be a simple inspection. You can have point, but I'll be looking over your shoulder though. Take note of the details and we'll discuss how it goes after. Looks like we've got company.
Close one.
That does it for the inspection. Let's talk. All right, let's go over the inspection results. The diagnostics check revealed some issues. Flux disruption in the induction loop, intake valves ruptured, and the ion focus? Oh, misaligned. Next, we have the release valve. It certainly did. Last but not least, the wiring. The wires were... Yep. I think the warm reception they gave us also points to that. Okay, well, sorry about the pop quiz. But in general, you're handling yourself well so far. Nobody does, outside of a classroom. That's why I love to evaluate new prospects this way. If I'm going to recommend you to Paladin Romani, I need to know you're serious. If you can, you are in my favor. If you can't, then... I'm worried about what our inspection turned up. There are a few parts I'd like to extract and examine in my lab. There's the pressure gauge, the core processor, and the ion focus. There's a lot I can learn from examining them if we can pull them out and get them back to my lab in decent condition. I want to take some notes on the core up there, so I'm going to leave the parts removal. Each extraction will be a little different, but in general, you'll want to use a light touch. I want the components in good condition, so please be careful. Any questions, or are you ready to get started? I'm counting on you. Let's... Oh, I thought of one. Can you pick up the induction coil up there on the machine core? What was that? That doesn't sound good.
You truly inspire me to use this. We survived. I hope we can stay when this is
Glad that's over with. Whew. Whatever you did up there, the security system sure didn't like it. Thanks for the backup. I doubt it. Now that that's over with, let me take a look at what you've collected. The pressure gauge looks like it's in good condition. The core processor is pristine. The ion focus looks usable. The induction coil seems fine. And what is this? This is this ultrasight? None of the documents, none of the terminals said anything about this. The fuel of the future. I'd heard the stories, but to think I could hold so much energy in my hands? Project Atlas may be beyond our power to repair, but we might have some. I expected the machine to use a small reactor's worth of energy. They condensed that into a container I can hold in my hands. You were a big help. I'm sure you have what it takes to be an initiate. Here, take this letter to... She'll make the final call on letting you into the Brotherhood, but my wreck may tip the scales. I'm going back upstairs to take a look at these components. I need to catalog our findings. If nothing else, this ultrasight battery has piqued my interest. There's a lot I could learn from. Oh, I'm giving you access to my private terminal, too. It has all the logs we recovered from when we moved in. After what we just went through, I think you deserve to know more about Project Atlas. Thanks again for your help, and good luck with the palace.